All right, so I think we're going here, and I want to welcome you to the event. This is a total practice. I'm testing how this works. It didn't work the first time exactly like I expected. I had to enter the numbers back in, and then it seemed to work. So the reason I'm doing this is, well, I've been online, and I see so many translators who are so pessimistic about AI. And there's a million reasons to be pessimistic about it. I totally get it. AI scares me as well. However, some of the comments are really based on ignorance. And I so I'm and I saw one this week. It was just yesterday. In fact, somebody had commented that all these people are talking about AI. All these translators are talking about AI working, but they always speak so vaguely. They never come out and really talk specifically about what's working, how it's working, the tools they're using, what the benefits are, and all this kind of stuff. And I have actually interacted with that person online before, and I have told them specific stuff, and somehow it didn't get through. And so my thinking is, online is not, leaving a comment on a post. I leave a comment, they leave a comment, I leave a comment. It just can't go. You can't have a conversation that way. It's really leaving a comment on a LinkedIn post is more about just, this is my opinion, and then, this is my opinion, and there's really not a great opportunity to interact. And so I'm out here, and I have a vested interest in getting out there and getting the word out there. And I'm going to push that because I believe it as well. This is not just something I say because, I got a tool to sell and some training to sell. This is stuff that's worked for me, and I have invested my time and my money, everything I've got is in this for translators. And I am a translator. I translate on a daily basis. And I can tell you that the AI absolutely helps with efficiency and quality. And nobody can tell me otherwise because I have seen it in my work. And so my I'm putting myself out there as an opportunity I'm going to present some stuff. These are not, I don't know how many times I'm going to do this. I don't even know exactly how long I'm going to do it. Although apparently LinkedIn Live, one of their rules is I have to go for at least 15 minutes. So they don't want me to stop in less than 15 minutes, and I'm not allowed to play anything recorded. This has all got to be live, which is fine. And I don't have a script prepared exactly. I have something to talk about. And so I'll talk about stuff. And I've also got a link in the in the LinkedIn Live page to join me here in the Zoom room. So if you're watching through LinkedIn, you're really only able to watch and listen. Whereas if you want to object, if you want to, take me up on this, tell me your opinion. We can have a debate. We can talk about it. We can converse. If you have a question, we can come over here. You don't have to argue. But the point is that I'm here to talk about AI and translation, why it works for me, and why I absolutely believe that translators need to get on board because there are okay, fine, there are translators out there who are using the wrong methodologies for translating, and that's not a good thing. That doesn't help our clients, it doesn't help us, it just cheapens the profession. But the AI, generative AI, is a powerful technology, and I have seen it in my work, and I can tell you that if you use the right techniques, it will work for you. I was just talking with one of my students just a bit ago, and she was sharing about how she did a test, which is you got to test this, right? We're not taking this on blind faith. She put a text through DeepL, I guess through their web interface. She put another one through to DeepL through her I guess through a plugin in her cat tool. And then she put another one through Chat GPT. And then she put another one through Co-Translator AI segment by segment using an anchor prompt like I have been instructing. And she said this was she was going German to English, I believe. And she said that it was that her translation through Co-Translator AI was the best. And that's the way it is. I'm telling you, it really is if you follow the right methodology. And she hasn't even gotten to module 4 of my content because I haven't published it yet. Because if she did, it would be even better. We looked at her prompt and there was a bunch of improvements that we could make, but it had already improved. So I'm telling you that, it, you know, speaking about AI is just, AI, it doesn't help me. It takes me longer to do it. It's, all this kind of stuff is because you're not following the right methodology. You have got to get out there and do it the right way. So anyway, I'm not going to go into all the details on that, and I'm not going to just keep pounding on that topic either. But I just do want to say that this is not coming from a point of ignorance. This is coming from a point that I really know. I believe I know what I'm saying. So it's up to you or whoever to decide whether you want to believe me or not. All right. So I haven't prepared a script, but I have prepared something to talk about, and I don't know how long I'll go, but I just wanted to talk about prompting and effective prompting because this will complement the post that I put up on. Hold on here. Let go. No, I don't see it. Anyway, this will complement the post that I put up on LinkedIn today. I said something of, well, I started out, well, what do you think about translation clients who send job specifications that read like a novel? They're exhausting to get through. They're not ineffective. I mean, how many times have you, well, I mean, of course, we're supposed to read everything, but I have clients that they have these template uh, emails for sending out their jobs. And these things are so long. They have put everything and the kitchen sink into them. And I know exactly where to go now in those instructions with the important stuff. And there's stuff in there that when I see it, it's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. It's like, that doesn't even make sense with this and that. It's Anyway, the point is that you got to be concise. If I can't tell you how many times I get job instructions from a client that are this long, and then I take them, and when I have English into Korean translations, I send it to my team in Korea, and I can, compress those instructions down to one sentence, two sentences max, and we get fine output too. The point is, being concise is important, and it's important with the AI as well. And this has been reinforced for me several times in the last few days here. One of them was a really interesting YouTube video that I watched on prompt engineering, and the speaker was talking about how prompt effectiveness goes down very quickly uh, at, with length of prompt. And so he had a graph, and I don't know anything about how this graph was derived. I assume they had a good methodology to it for the testing. But the point was that if if you go from a prompt of 250 tokens to a prompt of 3,000 tokens, 10 times your prompt length, well, you're gonna lose between 20 and 40% of the effectiveness of the prompt. And that's just because the AI is just, it's not as awesome as they say it is. I mean, it's awesome. And in the right methodology, it can definitely boost your productivity. But we're not talking about, you know, AGI tomorrow. The AI is really stupid and in incompetent in some really basic ways. And one way is you give it instructions that are 3,000 tokens long, which is a good page or so, and it falls apart in following your instructions. And so the answer is you got to give the AI more information density, just like a client that sends us a translation job just needs to cut to the chase. Tell us what's important. I mean, sometimes there's a lot of important stuff, and that all needs to go in there. But if it's, don't fill it up with fluff. Get to the point and keep it short. And it's interesting that they talk about these new models having these context windows of just enormous context windows, 128,000 tokens or so or more actually, but let's just say 128,000 tokens, which is like 50 pages of content roughly. And so the idea is, well, you can put up to 50 pages into a prompt and it's going to be able to digest it. And the answer to that is no, it's not. That's too long. It's number one, it's going to get expensive pretty fast if you're doing it too many times for sure. But beyond that, the AI is not capable. It's absolutely not capable of following all the content in a prompt at that length. And you have to get it much, much, much lower. You know, so in this video, YouTube video I was watching, he was talking about, prompts of, 250 tokens would be great. Well, that's what I can't remember exactly the conversion, but I'm thinking it's like 100 words, 200 words max. It's just a couple of hundred words for your prompt before it starts to really drop off in effectiveness. Well, that's not anything like the context window total. But beyond that, the AI has things like recency bias. So it remembers your later instructions better than your first ones, which is why, if you're in Chat GPT and you're chatting along and you chat along and you chat along, it starts to forget the stuff you said a long time ago. Now, there are a couple reasons for that. One, in Chat GPT, they also truncate your old stuff. They start throwing stuff away after it gets too long. But the other reason is even if you do it in CodeTranslator AI, which does not truncate, I don't even know if that's the right word, but if it doesn't, we don't throw anything away along the way. You get to keep it all. It's totally transparent. It still starts to break down as the prompt gets longer. And so generally I'm when I'm doing, for example, the gate workflow, I am watching the token counts because the anchor prompt in the gate workflow is pretty big. It can get pretty big. It's certainly more than 250 tokens. We're that would be really very basic. By the time I've gotten all my instructions and all my training data and all the stuff, and then the segments I'm going to translate and everything all through. I mean, 5,000, 10,000 tokens is not unusual, especially after you've gone through the ad hoc field several times. But the point is that, so what I find is that actually when the prompt gets to around, I don't know, 15,000 tokens, which is huge, which is really big, and people are going to say, wait a minute, you can't get away with a prompt that big. Well, I think I do, and I think it works, and I've gotten good results. However, at around 15,000 tokens, it starts to break down. It starts to not follow instructions. It starts to just bad stuff happens. The quality goes down. It's not remembering stuff, whatever. So that's when you have to start over. But the point is, they say that the context window is 128,000 tokens, and yet not at only a tenth of that, it's already starting to have problems. And according to some of these tests, even 1/10 of that is when the results start to drop. So when you're prompting, it's really critical that you keep all these things in mind. This is not something you can just, I mean, you can do it. You just throw it out there and just put it through the AI, turn it in, or you can do it through the AI and clean it up, but it won't be efficient, or at least it'll be, or the closer you look, the not as good the job is going to be. If you really want a good job, you have to follow the follow a methodology that manages those